We're going to go into some refinements now. Remember, we imported the building geometry from the BRA website. We just copied the building that was modeled around the site, and it automatically created this layer called building. So we'll turn that layer off for now. There's a couple lines here that I use for alignment that I'm going to delete. We don't need this sliver anymore that we used to just sort of align orthogonally, and I'll turn shadows off as well. And let's just save this scene and call it site plan. So what kind of refinements can we make? Well, remember, we've massively oversimplified the storefront here. As a 6-inch thick extrusion of glass. We decided that we'd want 2-foot sills. I'm going to component edit hide a rest of model so that when we modify these things, we can examine them independently of the rest of the model, so a little bit easier to consider. So what I do with this, I'm going to replicate in the rest of the model. First off, we need, now that we're refining things, we can think about this in terms of additional openings, correct thicknesses, that sort of thing. So we need to fit a door in there naturally. Let's see what we have for distance. So it looks like we may be able to fit a 3-foot door in there, and I'm going to quickly sort of create a 36,84 rectangle. I didn't start it left enough. Let's draw a guide about 1 inch from that edge. I've modeled this a little bit small, so we will have to imagine. I'm just going to move this 1 inch and start drawing from the intersection of that 36,84. So that's a 36 by 7-foot rough opening for a door. If I can extrude that, push it out, so we push out that open. So now we have an opening in that door. We need to create sills. We said the sills were at 2 feet from the ground, 24. So I can continue to snap guides to that point. Need ever so 1 inch hold z-axis in place. It's not. One way to do this is just to set aside space for the mullions. Let's say 5 inches. And then the transom, I think we decided it would be 24 or 12 from the top, so that we'd have 8 feet left. No, 7 feet. Seven feet of window. So I'm essentially deciding what we think ought to be glass and what's not glass. So I'm making all that stuff openings. And just drawing to those intersections. I think that'll give us an opening. Let's see. Okay. We didn't draw mullion thicknesses on the other faces here, so let's do that. 5 inches. And then 5 inches from that corner. That should give us an opening in here. Let's get an opening over the door. I'm sort of improvising, but let's add 5 inches there. We have the 1 foot. it'll have to be about the width of the door, right? So not quite that intersection, but if we can snap, yep, to the edge of the door. Let's push that out. I'm sort of ignoring the transom. I don't think it's going to make a real big difference. Let's put a couple guides. Five from that edge. 5. Draw the rectangle and push it out. And then finally, so we went very roughly from a whole lot of glass, 6 inches thick, to sort of a more refined understanding of what this system actually is. And so we're punching out openings, and then those are going, I'm not getting an intersection. Why not? Well, somehow that guide and that guide are not intersecting. Maybe I drew these incorrectly. Let's delete them and try again. Go to a top view and see if in fact that faces along the red axis. Yeah, that appears to be so. Maybe not. Maybe it's slightly skewed. Now, it's parallel with the red axis, so when I draw vertical guides, I think if I drag this way and hold the red axis in place, and then type 5 that way, go to this edge, red axis 5, that should give me intersections. Maybe the bottom is wrong. Oops. It's possible that that guide and that guide are wrong. Oh, that's right, because I drew them on that face, which is not coplanar. So we'll have to draw these again here. 24. And then from the top, we did 12. Now we should get those intersections. There we are. Intersection. Push them out. So now all of this is no longer glass, right? So let's imagine that it's some kind of wood, grain, select all of it, and paint it. close this group. So you see how that's coming along. The hierarchically we're going more complex levels here. Here we modeled it all as glass. Now we're considering what that could be. Let me save as lesson 10 in SketchUp. And that'll be the beginning of our refinements.